I'm Bill James, and I'm chair of the Santa Clara County Democratic Party. I'm delighted to be the MC and host of this event. You can see we've been busy getting our technology going for the meeting. And on this side, there is a thermometer that will reset itself to a new goal in just a minute. As people are gathering, we want to talk about our goals. These funds are split three ways between Kings County, Kern County, and Tulare County. These are the three California counties that have portions of California's 22nd congressional district. Later, we're going to hear from Rudy Salas. We're going to hear from Zoe Lofgren. We're going to hear from Nancy Pelosi. And we're going to start by hearing from one of the students in Santa Clara County, Avishad Yari Saeed. And Avishad is a high school student locally. She's a junior in one of our local high schools. She is an advocate for students' rights on campus, including for young women's menstrual needs. She is also a student delegate and representative to her high school district board. And we have a personal sharing by Avishad of a poem that she wrote. So without further ado, Avishad.
Hello, everyone. My name is Avishad Yari Said. Thank you so much for the introduction and thank you for your time. So today I will be utilizing my voice as I present to you a spoken word poem that I recently wrote to shed light on the motif that in order for humanity to move forward, we must move together and we cannot leave anyone or any group behind. So this is my poem titled Piece by Piece. People can cause tragedy. Piece by piece, we can collapse as humanity. People can cultivate peace. Piece by piece, we can restore humanity. As a global community, I want to see humanity row through the blue ocean waters of growth, rejecting the direction of the sea of oppressors. I want to see our strive and our advocacy stem from a mutual desire to braid our stories together as a whole. Different cultures, different customs, different colored skin, diverse skin, though we all constitute the human race. Thus, the separation between us is gratuitous space. Tell me now where humanity is, and I will soar, for the beauty of what is our unity should not be ignored. Humanity is in a place waiting alone. We should be able to stand up on our own safely. As the clock ticks and ticks, we cannot hold on to fate like a brick about to be thrown into chaos amidst calamity. I do not want to see the sun set on the human race, nor for the stars to fade from their place, as the air will be poisoned by the hopelessness that may be embraced. Although I am seeing the hate transform into an epidemic, the peace is shattered by what is systemic. Yes, we are humanity, but humanity also serves as a query of what we will do for our peers, what we will do to combat our fears, and how we will steer our communities to turn our grief into light through the plight. The world belongs to us, not just one person or one group. Just as well as we have the potential to cause tragedy, we can cultivate peace, for piece by piece, we can restore humanity. To the youth and to all be vocal, for the most potent instrument you possess lies above your chest, your voice, your choice. We cannot permit the pain to be the bane of our lives, for the greatness of humanity resides, not in being human, but in being humane. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avishad, for sharing that poem and all the sentiments in it. I think it's very nice for those of us who are not high school kids and young people in this audience to remember and hear from the voices of our youth. So thank you again, Avishad, for sharing your personal sentiment and your performance of it. So this is a fundraiser. Hopefully you can see on our camera, on our scene here, that we have nearly met our original goal. And so we had technology problems getting ready to start today. We didn't reset the goal online, but if folks give and push us over that 15,000 mark, the magic of Act Blue will reset that for us. So please give if you haven't already. Please give a little more if you're so inspired. And you can see that the QR code is there. and also the shortened URL bit.ly/valleyblue2024, where you can scan that code and give right away. I want to announce that a member of our leadership team, who for now is remaining anonymous, has put up a challenge grant for live donations during the event. And that very substantial grant is for $3,000, which would be $1,000 to each of the 3 county parties: Kings County, Kern County, and Tulare County. An additional $1,000 beyond the amounts that you see having been raised already. But we want to match that with 3,000 more during the course of the call. If we do that, we'll push our total up over $20,000 or nearing $20,000, and perhaps we can get a little bit more, try to get to 21,000, which divides by 3 so nicely evenly. So thank you to our member of our leadership team for that. Our next welcome is going to be from the other 3 county chairs. This event's being broadcast on Zoom. I'm in Saratoga at the home of one of the members of our leadership team, and we have other watch parties in Kings County, Kern County, and Tulare County. You can see some of them listed in the Zoom. And the chair, we're going to hear from some of the other leaders later, but for now, we are going to hear a video of the 3 chairs from Kings, Kern, and Tulare County Democrats to kind of set the tone for this event.
Hello. I'm Kathy Jorgensen, Chair of the Democratic Central Committee from Kings County.
My name is Joshua Evans, Chair of the Tulare County Democratic Central Committee.
I'm Christian Romo, Chair of the Kern County Democratic Party.
Thank you for joining us for this event.
To support our work together to flip the Congressional District 22 this November.
In 2018, Democratic activists from the Bay Area and the Central Valley worked as one to elect Josh Harder and TJ Cox to the House.
2 of the 7 California House seats we flipped together that year.
In 2018, and in 2 election cycles since then, volunteers from the Bay Area counties have made phone calls,
sent postcards,
donated money,
and traveled, sometimes great distances,
to volunteer in our Central Valley districts.
And we've always been here to welcome and support them.
Our Central Valley activists organize efforts on the ground, helping to coordinate transportation, meals, lodging, and voter outreach efforts for local activists and our allies from the Bay Area,
and providing knowledge of local communities and the support and partnership of local activists.
In 2018, our efforts achieved results,
helping the Democrats take the House at a crucial moment in our history.
We literally saved our democracy.
This year, we're hopeful that if we do the work, we'll flip CD 22 and help Democrats retake the House.
We need your help to replace MAGA Republican David Valadao, a co-sponsor of the Republican National Abortion Ban bill,
who voted to elect MAGA Republican extremist Jim Jordan as Speaker of the House.
CD 22 is a Democrat plus 5 district.
We can win this seat.
Democrats outnumber Republicans, and we're working hard to ensure local Democrats know and use their power to elect Rudy Salas to the House.
Rudy Salas was our assemblyman for 10 years, and during that time, he worked tirelessly to help his constituents.
As a member of the Assembly, Rudy Salas helped our local communities, such as Corcoran, by providing funding to replace their aging fire infrastructure.
Rudy Salas is a champion for the Central Valley. He's been there as Assembly member, he's been there as City Council member, and we look forward to have him serve us as our next Congress member and the first Latino to serve as Congress member for the Central Valley.
Last cycle, Republicans spent over $12 million to hold this seat.
They know they can't hold the House without winning CD 22.
But we have something they don't have.
People power.
We have you.
If we work together, we could win this seat and make Hakeem Jeffries Speaker of the House.
As leaders of our local Democratic parties,
we've been working to lay the groundwork for Democratic victory in 2024.
But we can't do it without you.
Our Central Valley Democratic Central Committees will use the funds we raise today to ensure the Democratic Party has an active and visible presence in our Central Valley communities,
including by posting billboards,
placing ads in local papers and on social media,
printing campaign materials, and recruiting and organizing volunteers to staff our presence at community events and to support our local candidates.
In addition to supporting our House candidates in the must-win races we're targeting,
Our collective support of the local Democratic Party in our Central Valley counties is crucial to electing Democrats at all levels,
including important down ballot races such as county supervisors,
county elections officials.
city council members,
and our school board members.
Please join us in our efforts to strengthen our local Democratic parties.
It's an investment that will pay dividends in this crucial election year.
And beyond.
Thank you for your support
We hope you enjoy this event.
And we look forward to seeing you
as we work together to elect Rudy Salas and paint our Central Valley blue in 2024.
So those are our amazing Central Valley County chairs of the 3 counties that we're supporting in this fundraiser. You learned from them that that's Chris Romo from Kern County, Kathy Jorgensen from Kings County, and Josh Evans from Tulare County. We've grown this family that we've been working with all of these years. Started out in the depths of the pandemic, working with initially Kings County and then added Kern County, and more recently have been working with Tulare County to make sure we've got full coverage for the rural communities that comprise Congressional District 22. And we've learned so much from each other and accomplished so much in our work together. So our next speaker is going to be live with us on Zoom, via Zoom. And she is no stranger to the fight for democracy in the Central Valley. It's former state controller and current California Democratic Party Vice Chair, Betty Yee. Betty?
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Democrats, and a special good morning to our Democrats in Kings, Kern, and Tulare County. I am thrilled to be here. And first, I just want to say to Santa Clara County Democrats, thank you so much for just modeling what it means to be a party that speaks with one voice, where our shared values don't know geographic boundaries, and the fact that this has been a recurring event to help our Central Valley counties has just been really remarkable, and I'm thrilled to be here. I just want to echo the sentiment of the county chairs, but first, just to say thank you to all of the activists who do this work every day on the ground. It is particularly hard in some of our still yet to turn blue counties, but we know when we have good candidates, we can win. And we know that when we organize, we can win. And we also know that this particular year is so important because California is battleground. I personally can attest that CD22 is the priority from Washington all the way here to California. It is where I'm going to be spending my time in terms of GOTV and getting Rudy Salas elected. But really, I wanted to say something that I think is really emblematic of why these events are so important. One is just really helping our rural counties build capacity. This is something that is so important, and not just for this election cycle, but for cycles to come. Two, to be sure that this party does not ignore our rural counties. There is so much that comes out of our rural counties in terms of their contributions to our culture, to our economy, to our society. And so to be able to have this bridge to our 3 counties here is really wonderful. And I hope we can do more of that. And this is really as a model of how I would like to see the rest of the party work. And then 3, when we talk about building capacity, this is just not a one and done. It's about being sure that we are ingrained in terms of how we build our volunteer base, that we're not having to start from ground zero every election cycle. And more importantly, as we do this, that we also build the trust in terms of going into these areas where frankly, a lot of voters aren't getting touched. And when we are able to do that, this is what I believe is going to help us win this seat. One of the things that I believe is sorely lacking right now in our politics is trust. And there's nothing more effective than building that than just a person-to-person conversation. And so the dollars that are being raised here today, in terms of getting the word out about Rudy Salas, but also about having these conversations on the ground with our organizers as we canvass, that we do our year-round organizing, not waiting until just weeks ahead of an election. This is the work that's in progress now, and I know that I'll be seeing many of you as we lead up to November. And then lastly, let me just say a word about Rudy Salas, because he is someone who I really admired and respected in the legislature. So as your state controller, as you know, I kind of the accountability queen. Rudy Salas chair the Joint Legislative Audit Committee, and we did quite a bit of work together in terms of just looking at where things just weren't measuring up with respect to our public dollars and where programs can be more effective. He will bring that accountability to Washington, not just the representation that you also deserve, but the fact that what you have now in terms of representation are people who look out for themselves and not for their communities. And so I'm very proud to be here. Bill, I'm going to take the challenge grant that the leader, one of your leaders has put up, and I will be making a contribution of $600. So hopefully $200 per county will help.
Wonderful. Thank you, Betty Yee. Yeah,
And so we will get closer to that goal, but I will see all of you on the ground in short order. But thank you for all you do. Thank you, Bill, to the Santa Clara County Democrats for this partnership. And together, let's deliver these victories in November. The rest of the country is counting on us. Thanks so much, Democrats.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Betty Yee. Betty, I appreciate your pointing out the need for these rural county Democratic parties to be supported in their year-round organizing. In 2020, one of our insights was that we didn't have to start from scratch because there were folks on the ground, and they turned out to be fabulous folks who know their turf and are now great partners. We're going to hear more and more about that partnership. But would you make mention of the California Democratic Party's organizing priorities and what resources the party has also put in to support our organizing on the ground here?
Thank you. No, so we have invested in year-round organizing. We have an organizing director as well as managers representing each of the significant regions of the state. And we are going to be paying some attention to the Central Valley. I know with the help of Assembly Speaker Rivas and Assemblymember Esmeralda Soria, we are doing an all-day organizing training at UC Merced to help in that part of the valley. But these are the kinds of things that we want to continue to raise money to do to be sure that our volunteers are coming from the regions that we are targeting, and that we build this infrastructure for the long term. And so this investment, it truly is an investment. And I also believe that when we are able to do this and having these conversations, as I said, year round, and Bill, as you pointed out, people are ready. And this is not about necessarily having the conversation about the election, but about the issues that matter in people's lives. And so when we are able to do that, by the time election time comes, we'll have built that trust. And it is that trust that is ultimately the most important in terms of how voters are going to really measure what they will depend on in terms of making their decision about who to vote for.
Controller Betty Yee, thank you so much for your support of the Santa Clara County Democratic Party and our 3 rural county partners. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.
So as Betty Yee was saying, we are trying to raise these funds to support our Central Valley counties. I'm having a little bit hard time seeing my virtual camera, doohickey, but I think we're up over $14,000. And I know Betty Yee, and she was a controller, so she might have been able to get her donation in there while she spoke with us. But if not, we'll be bumping up just a little bit further. We are going to, I believe we're going to hear now from Marina Chavez, who is a young organizer in Kings County. And we're going to hear about the life and experience of being a young progressive in the Central Valley counties that we care about.
Hello, my name is Marina, and I'm a lesbian, Latina activist and Democrat living in Porterville in beautiful Tulare County. I wanted to share the importance of keeping and continuing efforts to make the Central Valley blue during this time, especially for LGBTQ plus issues. Many know how conservative the Central Valley is and the hardships LGBTQ plus people endure while living in the area. Unfortunately for the city of Porterville, our city council is very conservative and Republican at the moment, and council members have openly spoken hateful and demeaning comments about the LGBTQ plus community and efforts for inclusion and celebration. Even one council member saying that making Transgender Day a visibility on the same day as Easter was an attack on Christianity and all Christians. Well, as an active member of the Trinity Lutheran Church in Porterville, even holding a position in the church council as treasurer, I feel for a fact that the celebration of any of God's people is not an attack on Christianity. My wonderful wife of 6 years also works for the church, and our faith tells us to love all people equally. And I would like for our leaders in Porterville to want to share the same type of love and respect to all people. Donating to CD22 will help with this effort in creating a more welcoming and inclusive Central Valley through our leaders at a much needed time. Our leaders should be able to represent all people, and not only represent them, but empower and raise the voices of those they represent. Please consider donating to help fund these organizing efforts to make the Central Valley a better place for all of its citizens. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Marina, for your message of that shared both the struggles you've experienced in living in your rural area, but also the sense of hope and appreciation of the support that all of us, both those in Kern, Kings, and Tulare County, and in the Bay Area and beyond, are providing for this next generation. And I think that we all know that that's the key. One of the keys to this turning this whole Central Valley blue is just to change over time, making sure that we're supporting young progressives and encouraging them, showing them how to organize, and working with them and alongside of them so that they're empowered to elect not only members of Congress that will support Democrats, but also elect local leaders. And we as county Democratic parties are engaged in that work just continuously, recruiting candidates, running them for local office, supporting them as they run. Now, the next person we're going to hear from, I believe we're going to hear from Angel Ruiz live from Tulare County, if that's correct. And so if we can get Tulare County to come online and, unmute and be ready for Angel Ruiz to speak. I'll let him introduce himself, but I know that he's a young person who has been a candidate for assembly and wasn't successful in that effort. But folks in the Central Valley tell us that he's a person that we're going to keep an eye on and hear a lot more from. Angel, please take it away.
Muy buenos días, Democrats in California. I really do appreciate the time here. I usually start speaking in Spanish because of my background being an immigrant from Guatemala. That has a lot of value in the Central Valley in California and in the country as a whole, right? This country was built on immigrants, people that are hardworking, union, middle-class people like myself, like my family, people that I represent and people that I will continue to fight and work for. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here to speak to everybody. Unfortunately, I did run for office, but we didn't have the success that we were looking for. But that's okay. Like it was mentioned earlier, I'm a young candidate, right? And I will continue to fight for my community, and I will continue to fight for Tulare. And those areas that were mentioned, like East Porterville, right, and Kings County, and Avenal, and Corcoran, right, because the Central Valley for far too long has been forgotten. And this is why, we need to support Rudy Salas, and we do need to continue to help Rudy Salas as I've continued to advocate and continue to help and volunteer in his campaign because he's the right candidate that will get us a voice in Washington, D.C. and throughout the nation and California. Our areas are being faced with healthcare access. Our hospital in Tulare has continued to close down. We continue to fight for clean water, and we continue to fight for access to food. Our education system for far too long has been divided, and it hasn't been breached with Sacramento. And that's something that definitely we need to continue fighting for. The other thing that I will say is that I know it's a little far, but the census, the 2030 census, if we can start working on that and we can start telling people how important it is to register, to complete the census, to do the census, and ultimately register to vote. It's the work that we're going to continue to work, and it's the work that I'm going to continue to work. Because when the last census came around, it was hard and difficult to go to those areas where people were having barriers with language barriers and many different difficult things because they don't know how to read and write. So I will continue to work, and for that, I will continue to, empower my community and let them know that, hey, we have right candidates, we have the right people. We just have to go out there and vote for them. And I do want to, be grateful for this opportunity. I also want to say that the Bay Area Coalition that has been coming down to the Central Valley for at least I known them for 6 years, maybe when I was working for the Dolores Huerta Foundation. Action Fund. I apologize. We've worked together. Now that I switched over to a union labor job, we continue to work together. And as a candidate, they were huge supporters of me, and they went door to door. And we learned a lot. And that's the work that we're going to continue working and using as we move forward for Congressional District 22, as Rudy, will help them win and, be the voice of the Valley, which we need in Washington, D.C. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Applause here in Saratoga. I'm sure at our other locations. Angel, can I ask you? There was a question in chat earlier about whether funds raised here could be used to support outreach to Spanish language voters, be radio or otherwise. In your organizing, do you have any thoughts for us about how we can help in outreach in your area and just the demographic, like how many folks are Spanish speaking?
Yeah, so in Tulare County, we have 65.5% of the population there speak Spanish. In Kings County, we have 58.8% of the population speak Spanish. In Fresno County, we're I think it's at 60% of the population that speaks Spanish. But Fresno doesn't go to City 22. But yeah, I definitely think that we can use a lot of radio ads. I definitely think the other thing that would be convenient for us would be having ads in Spanish in Facebook. Our community is very intertwined and connected when it comes to Facebook because that's what our relatives have back home in our native countries. So if I think that's something that I can advise would be having ads on Facebook in Spanish so they can understand, and also not just limited to Spanish, right? There's other dialects that people speak that we can have them translate information into their dialect so they can understand, like Oaxacan and Mixteco and things like that.
Fabulous. Angel, thank you so much for being a candidate, an organizer, and a leader in the Central Valley. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
So Bay Area folks will recognize well the next guest. He's appearing by a video. It's Speaker of the Assembly, Robert Rivas. Robert Rivas is from San Benito County, but his district actually includes a small part of Santa Clara County, the community of Gilroy, which is one of our rural communities in Santa Clara County. And he's long been a voice for rural California and is now Speaker. So let's hear from Robert.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robert Rivas, Speaker of the California State Assembly, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do to help support and advance the values that we all care about here in California. And this election year, we find ourselves in a defining moment in American history, a crucial point where the country must choose a side of good or evil. We have seen the dangers of Republicans with power, President Trump, Speaker Johnson, and many others who have abused their position for their own gain, leaving everyone else to fend for themselves. Their accomplishments? Banning abortion, taking books away from children, and peddling fake and dangerous conspiracy theories. While California may be considered a safe blue state, the road to winning back a majority of our House of Representatives and restoring sanity in Congress runs through our Golden State. We need to fight back. Republicans can rely on a handful of ultra-wealthy donors to fund their campaign coffers in exchange for catering to their every need. This puts us at a serious disadvantage as a party, but Democrats, we have a secret weapon. That's you. With your support, we can push back against this mega extremist agenda, protect our California values, and win back a majority in the House of Representatives. We have a lot of work to do, and it's going to take all of us to be successful this November. If you believe in reproductive freedom, in tackling climate change, and social justice, I hope you will donate today and do everything you can to help us win in November. Thank you so much, and si se puede.
Thank you very much, Speaker Rivas, for that message. Our next speaker is a member of Congress that needs little introduction. Zoe Lofgren is among other things, the chair of the California Democratic delegation. Zoe and her team called us in 2018 when Donald Trump was president and Democrats had no levers of power in Washington, D.C., and said, if we get buses lined up, will you fill them with people to go to the Central Valley and flip some of these congressional districts? And she's been alongside us every election since then. And to respect her time, because I know she's here at present to speak to us, I'd like to introduce one of our local Santa Clara County members of Congress, the great Zoe Lofgren. So,
well, thanks so much, Bill. I'm delighted to be with you this morning. What you're doing in terms of raising funds, but also, just as importantly, getting ready to campaign for Rudy and I assume also Adam out in the Central Valley is absolutely crucial. I've been in Congress a while now, and I've never seen the kind of radicalism, extremism that I'm seeing today in the House of Representatives. MAGA controls Mike Johnson, and the extremists want to make Dobbs the law of the land. It won't matter in California that we have freedom of choice if the Republicans are able to make a statewide ban on abortion and take a private decision away from each woman and her family. That's not the end of it. They are climate change deniers. They hate LGBTQ individuals and want to create laws against them. They've publicly indicated they want to cut Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. I mean, it's really over the top. Now, the good news is that we have a chance to take the House of Representatives back. It's not guaranteed. Some people say, well, when we take it back. No, if we take it back, and if is up to you. Rudy has a terrific opportunity to win in his seat. Just take a look at some of the data. He lost by a slim margin last time, and the turnout was terrible. So the key to winning this is getting the turnout up, and then he will win. President Biden would have won this district by 56.2% of the vote. Rudy has also been out raising money from small donors. He is competitive now with Valadeo, and this event will help him make sure that he gets even closer to that. We know that, for example, the turnout in East Bakersfield was astonishingly small. If we can get the turnout among the voters that know Rudy and like Rudy, he will take this seat. And we have 40 members in the California Democratic delegation. We need to grow that. And we have opportunities with Rudy here in the Valley, also with Adam Gray just to the north, as well as George Whitesides up in North Los Angeles County, Will Rollins out in Palm Springs, Derek Tran in Orange County, and of course, Dave Min, who will be taking Katie Porter's seat. So with your help, California will do its part to take the MAGA extremists out of the driver's seat and have sensible, non-chaotic governance once again. And that's going to be important. I don't believe that Donald Trump will be elected president, but he's been very clear about what he will do if he is. In his words, he said he plans to terminate parts of the Constitution. He didn't say which parts. He's indicated publicly that he intends to use the military to round up immigrants, including legal immigrants, and put them in camps. He has indicated that he's going to use the Justice Department to arrest his enemies, including President Biden and the members of the January 6th committee. So these challenges, this is an election with consequences like none other. I'm glad that you're willing to put in your money and your time to make sure that we save our democracy. And I thank you so much, Bill, and everyone else who's doing the work.
Thank you so much, Zoe Lofgren, for your support of us. So could you say just one thing about how about Hakeem Jeffries and what might happen if we're able to make him the Speaker of the House?
Well, as you know, Speaker Pelosi, the most effective speaker in the history of the United States, voluntarily stepped aside from her leadership position so that we could have a new generation of leadership in the House. Hakeem Jeffries is our minority leader. He will be the speaker when we take the majority. Catherine Clark will be next in line behind him. She is the whip today. Pete Aguilar, also from Southern California, will be next in line. And then Joe Neguse from Colorado will be the fourth in the leadership. Very diverse, very smart, very focused. Hakeem Jeffries is a very talented guy, a guy who's strategic, somebody who I support without qualification. He will make a terrific speaker, as will the whole team. I think he's going to make our country proud.
Very good. Zoe Lofgren, thank you so much for being here with us. And we're all going to do our part to make that a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, Zoe. That's Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren from Santa Clara County. So thank you, Zoe, for your support over the many years now of our work all together between the Bay Area and the Central Valley. And we're going to continue to hear more about that. Our next speaker highlights the importance of partnerships. Oh, first of all, I want to acknowledge that we've busted past our $15,000 original goal. So congratulations, donors and attendees and guests. So we're up above $15,000. And remember, our little thermometer from Act Blue doesn't have the $3,000 of our challenge grant. And it seems like we're making really strong progress toward that. And the goal was reset. So the thermometer looks like it's got some space. But let's see if we can push past 21,000 and see what it resets to after that. So thank you for your donations. Well, next we're going to hear about a partner in many of our counties in California and throughout the country. The labor movement is an essential partner to our success. And I know that's true of our partner Central Valley counties that are the beneficiaries of this fundraiser event today. And so next we're going to hear from Dylan Savory. Dylan is the executive director of the Fresno, Madera, Tulare, and Kings County Central Labor Council. Dylan.
Happy Saturday, South Valley Democrats. This is Dylan Savory. I'm the Executive Director of the Central Labor Council covering Fresno, Madera, Tulare, and Kings counties. Super excited to wish you all the best in your fundraising efforts today. If I could have been there, I would, but I know you guys are having a really great event without me. Ultimately, I just wanted to emphasize how important the work of the Democratic Party is in our region. As you know, the South Valley and the Central Valley as a whole is ground zero for so much of the policy change that we need represented in all of the justice arenas, if you will, for things that we're dealing with throughout the United States. And when we talk about pollution, we're ground zero for air pollution, for water pollution. When you talk about immigration, we're ground zero for undocumented workers who need our help. When you talk about housing affordability, when you talk about just homelessness, you pick the arena, job availability, economic diversity, getting rid of the extractive industries that harm our communities with, further pollution and, damaging our schools, all of those things, all of those corrupt politicians. You are all doing that grassroots work to help push back those things and get justice for the families that deserve it in the South Valley. And I'm right there with you. You know that we need to get Rudy Salas elected to Congress. You all know that we need to put better local officials at the state office, at the all our local school boards, at our local city councils. And progress can be slow in the Central Valley, but the amount of injustice done upon our families is so deep. It's 100 years or more of history that we're trying to unwind. So really, the need to invest in local infrastructure with our local Democratic parties, folks like Kathy Jorgensen in Kings County with Ruth Lopez and others in Tulare and Kern. Everything that you all are doing as grassroots activists are what really moves the needles, because we know that those commercials that just blind all of our voters are not moving the needles. Knocking on doors, talking to voters, getting them to understand how things happen locally is what's most important. The national debate, the national discourse, that's out of our hands. We need to remind voters why it's important for us to fix things in the Central Valley, and we're the ones that are able to fix them by putting good people into office. So well wishes to everything that you're doing. Looking forward to working with you all on a successful year going forward. Take care.
Thank you, Dylan Savory, for that message, and thank you to the labor movement for its essential partnership with our Democratic Party, really throughout the state. You can see from the thermometer, it's here, that we're almost to $16,000. I think we're really approaching matching our $3,000 grant. So remember, if we match the grant, we can add 3,000 to the figure that we see, and that's a very appropriate value and number, because some of the items that our county Democratic parties either must do or would like to do in their organizing cost about that much. So for example, I see we're over 16,000 now. That's nice. Yeah, nice. Very close to matching the grant, almost there. But one of the budget line items we were told is that the Kern County Democrats have a booth or want to have a booth at the Kern County Fair. And that's a great opportunity to reach people who maybe aren't that engaged in politics. And all of us who've done that kind of organizing know how important it is to stand at a table and offer people the opportunity to say what they think about politics, what they're concerned about in their community. So a booth at the Kern County Fair, that costs $3,000, around $3,000, and we're going to help them reach that goal. In Kings County, they do outreach at the farmers market. And that's real. I mean, the Kings County folks, we won't let them tell you about that today, but they have stories they can tell about how the Proud Boys set up across from them and not in a nice way. And so these are Democrats who are on the front line of engaging with voters in our Central Valley communities. And as Zober alluded to, or Betty, I think it was, this is a Biden +5 district, which means that the Democrats are a majority in this district. And our county Democratic parties that we're supporting today are the folks that are helping them recognize, realize, and use that power. So we're going to hear next from a member of the Obama administration, is one of our folks from Santa Clara County, great supporter of our local party and our efforts in the Central Valley. And that's DJ Patil. DJ was the first chief data scientist of the United States, worked in the Obama administration, and he has some words of encouragement for us. DJ?
Hey, y'all. I am DJ Patil. I'm the former U.S. Chief Data Scientist under President Obama, and then I also got an incredible opportunity to help President Biden and the Vice President Harris set up the team as we headed into this administration under the transition. And I just want to take a second and talk about how important the work that you all are doing is. It's interesting because I just returned from DC, where we had the Ash Carter Exchange, which is a national security forum, really started in memory and honor of the late Secretary of Defense Ash Carter, and got to bring in a lot of the national security experts who are supporting the president, working appointed by him, and hear their perspective. And it's a great reminder, actually, from Ash Carter, who one of his sayings was, security is like oxygen. You only know you have it when you don't. And I always think about that, especially in the context of this upcoming election. And as we know, elections have consequences. And we've seen what it's like when we don't have that oxygen of security, that blanket that we take for granted so often. And particularly around that is what happens if this team, the next team, is actually an administration under Trump. Very frankly, we know what their plans are. They want to hollow out government. They want to reduce the roles and federal capacity of people, national security, intelligence community, domestic policy programs, you name it. This is very clear cut under their plan of 2025. And when I think about that, and I think about the problems that we face as a nation internationally, and something that I specifically saw of that complexity as we headed into setting up this administration under the leadership of President Biden, was how hollowed out the federal agencies had already become. How so many of the critical roles that we depend on were unfilled. The jobs just weren't being done. And don't just take my word for it. You can read Michael Lewis's The Fifth Risk and see about our work as we were trying to educate the Trump team to actually do their jobs, the jobs that are required by Congress, the jobs that are expected by all of us as citizens. And so as President Biden and the Vice President headed into this, they had very clear instructions of not only build back better for the nation, but build back these federal agencies better. And that's why we put the people into those roles they have. And they've done a spectacular job. You think about the complexity of all the things they've had to do, all the amount of energy that's gone to from the CHIPS Act to the Inflation Reduction Act. Those are going to be seminal moments for us of investment that are going to pay dividends for the nation for decades to come. And that is what's at stake. And that's where you all come in. Because without you, who knows the way this is going to go, and particularly the importance of what we've seen happening in the House. Without leadership in the House that is Democratic, things that need to get done from a national security perspective, from a local perspective, they're just not going to happen. As we think about the reforms that continue to need to take place as technology continues to change and shape, and we just need to get ahead of it. Who's going to do that? That leadership needs to be Democratic, because we've seen the Republican leadership doesn't actually want to lead. And that has been a very unfortunate aspect. And so I just want to personally say thank you for all the work that you all are doing. I know it can be super challenging, especially when you're out there in the field and it feels like a thankless job. But just remember, your presence out there, the energy that you're spending doing this, that is what it really means to be on the front lines. That is really what it means to actually be taking this whole idea of democracy, taking it, embodying it, and making sure that our democratic values continue to move forward for our country, our kids, and our kids' kids. So thank you for all you're doing. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person with you all. I have a responsibility to the kids this weekend, but I just want to say thank you, and thanks for giving me a little bit of time here for doing this work. And thanks to the leadership of people that are pulling everything together, from Rebecca, Saeed, to everybody else. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you, DJ Patel, for that frankly fairly frightening message. So you can all stress donate by reading the QR code. But I think DJ's message is quite serious, heartfelt, and from a very informed perspective. There's a lot at stake in this election, and no pressure on us, but it's on us. It's up to us to really do what needs to be done to make our country safe, including by sending Rudy Salas to Congress. And our next guest definitely needs no introduction in this group, but I'll give her a brief one anyways. We're going to hear from Cecilia Manalga. Some folks in chat have been asking, like, well, what more can I do? I'm donating. I've donated a couple times now. What more can I do to help out in this effort? And many of us in all 4 counties and beyond, including in our partner counties who are here present, have worked through the Bay Area Coalition and its predecessors to get into the Central Valley, deep into the Central Valley, all the way down to what's now CD 22. And I can't think of anybody who's been more instrumental in bringing us all together in doing that than Cecilia Manalga. So Cecilia, we're ready to hear from you. And I know that after DJ's scary presentation, you've got some great and motivating images to help us understand what we can do to save our country, to elect Rudy Salas, and to have a little fun doing it.
Thank you, Bill, very much. Because yes, what can we do? I have a short video, because what says canvassing better than through pictures? So let me just share my screen here. So that actually, hopefully, it will inspire some people. And I will drop in the chat right now um, uh, some. Oh, sorry, hold on. Just sorry, so I dropped in the chat the link and certainly sign up, but I want to echo what Betty and a few others have said, that the person-to-person canvassing is the most effective tactic that we have to reach voters. Someone mentioned that it's a way to change hearts and minds and votes. So just a little bit of information if you're wondering, well, I mean, how effective is it? So you'll talk to probably 20 to 30% of the doors that you knock on, which is a huge percentage. Remembering, and Rudy Salas often says this as well when he's talking to canvassers, that elections are often won or lost by just 2 voters per neighborhood. So just think about that. If you go out there and you talk to just even a few people, you've made a difference. You might also be thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to persuade those MAGA Republicans. Heavens, no, you don't have to, because our goal is, when we're canvassing, is to only talk to Democrats or voters who share our democratic values. So right now, through this persuasion phase through September, we're talking to low to mid propensity Democrats, mid to high propensity no party preference, and Latinos under 35. It's a great universe population of voters. And I know I'm seeing in the chat actually some people who've been and had fun doing it. So certainly sign up. If you canvass with Bay Area Coalition, we'll guide you through everything that has to do with canvassing. We have trainings every Tuesday at 7 o'clock that just are an hour long for everything you wanted to know about canvassing. We have a concierge service to help set you up with carpools, supporter housing, other housing, and a huge thank you to Bay Area Congress members who have funded stipends to help offset some of your travel costs for those overnight trips. So with that, I'm going to stop and turn it back over to Bill.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Cecilia. A big round of applause in all locations for Cecilia Manalga for bringing us together and keeping us honest. We appreciate everything you do. And when we win, we hope you feel good about it. Thank you. Thank you, Cecilia. And Cecilia said she's going to hop off and put some of the links to Canvas with us in the chat. You can also find them in the action page at sccdp.org/action. There's a little graphic that looks like you're driving over the Altamont Pass to get to the valley and beyond. And you can see some of the canvassing opportunities that we're doing from Santa Clara County, but also links to the link trees and other sources of information for canvassing in the Central Valley on various dates and in various locations that Cecilia and others have organized. Should have mentioned that Cecilia Manalga is active in the Contra Costa Democratic Party, which is one of our partner counties and has been for years now in not only the organizing efforts, but also these fundraising efforts for the Central Valley. Along with San Joaquin and Stanislaus County, Fresno County 1 year, this event is focused on our 3 counties that are supporting CD22. But we are also all working together to support Adam Gray running for Congress in CD13. Well, we have a very special video message that was recorded just for us, and it's extraordinarily special. I see that Christine Pelosi, I hope Christine, yes, Christine is still with us on the call, and she's part of that extended Pelosi team that has done so much for the Democratic Party. One of, we all have our favorite sayings from Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. One is don't agonize, organize. So if DJ Patel made you worried and you've already stress donated, the next step is to organize and join some of the actions that Cecilia will be putting links for in the chat. But another favorite of mine that sort of evolved over time was Speaker Pelosi's statement that our diversity is our strength. And then when she had the narrowest of majorities, we can see that the Republicans with the narrow majority can do nothing good. They really need the Democrats to bail them out to do anything. Speaker Emerita Pelosi modified her catchphrase a little bit to say that diversity is our strength, but unity is our power. And as a unified Democrats from the Bay Area and the Central Valley, we're gonna show the MAGA Republicans our power in 2024. So without further ado, this recorded message that Speaker Emerita Pelosi, who has so many demands on her time, was kind enough to record just for us.
Hi everyone, it's Nancy. It's always a pleasure to join our VIPs, our volunteers in politics, working together to turn the Valley blue in 24. Thank you for your tremendous support of Rudy Salas, our great Democratic candidate in California 22. Everything is at stake in this election: our health care, our environment, our fundamental freedoms, and our very democracy. Rudy Salas will fight for the Valley, for water and infrastructure, for farm workers, for good-paying union jobs, for housing and health care, for our freedoms and for our democracy. Democrats must win in November, and because of your hard work, Democrats will win in November, because we don't agonize, we organize, and we're unionized. Between now and November 5th, all of us have to make sure that we have no wasted time, no underutilized resources, and no regrets on the day after the election, that we did everything in our power to ensure that Rudy Salas is heading to Washington to represent the Central Valley and reclaim our Democratic House majority. Thank you for your hard work in Valley Blue to send Rudy to D.C. along with Josh Harder, Adam Gray, and Senator Adam Schiff. Thank you, and God bless you all. Onward to victory.
So I see that that Speaker Pelosi's presence and support has bumped us over the $20,000 mark. So congratulations, donors and attendees. And that means with our challenge grant, we're up almost to $24,000. Now, I have a little bit of a compulsive thing. So if someone could just like get us out of the 21,000, like being this close to it by making a donation, then we'll flip over and we'll see what goal Act Blue gives us next. Well, I think that it's now my honor to squeeze that in between Speaker Emerita Pelosi as sort of by way of introduction to our candidate in CA 22. And I believe he's with us from Tulare County, and I'm going to get myself in trouble if I'm wrong about that. Is that the right place? Team's not telling me. But in any case, he gets around because he's a candidate who cares. He's an assembly member who served this area very admirably in the California Assembly, and he is now on his way to being elected to Congress in 2024 from CA 2022. Could be literally the person and the candidate who will put us over the top to take the House. He's a child of farm workers, and he'll tell his story a bit more. Native son of this area, and our candidate for California 22nd Congressional District, Rudy Salas. Rudy. Stage manager is looking for Rudy. Is it one of the Javons? Is it something else? Bear with us just a moment. Whoever has Rudy Salas with them needs to turn their camera on so he can be spotlighted, and change your name to something that lets us know he's there. We know he's there. He's coming. So while we're waiting for that, that's going to be happening very soon. And team, you can just take me off when you're ready. I want to mention a couple other goals. It was mentioned earlier that we need to do Spanish language and English language and other language outreach by social media. Well, the Kern County Democrats are looking to do social media campaign for 2024. They'd like to have a budget of $2,500, and that's one of the items that might get funded. Here he is. You're on. You're on, the gentleman of the hour, and the camera needs to be raised.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I truly appreciate it. This is what it's going to take, guys. It's going to take all of us to get this done. Appreciate everyone that helped make this fundraiser, actually this community coming together to make a difference, not only just for the Central Valley, but really for California and for our country. Our country deserves it. Our families deserve it. It's worth the fight. I tell people it's worth the $5. I know you get all of those emails, but just know that $5 will help us buy a yard sign. $200 gets us an organizer for a day to actually be out at the doors every single day. And when you look at these races that come down to just a handful of votes in every neighborhood, when you want to make that dollar stretch or you want to make a difference for families across the country, right here in CA 22, you can be that difference. We've shown and proven that this is where the metal meets the road. This is how we make things happen. But more than anything, I just want to thank everybody for coming together, because when you look at the moment in time we're in the history of America, and you talk about which direction do we want to go in? Do we want to go into a world of divisiveness? Do we want to go into a world where you are just left on your own? And if you're not part of that privileged class, then you are definitely going to be left. Or do you want to be in a world where we know that we're stronger together? We know that we're stronger as a community. We know that when we come together, it's better for America. It's better for our economics. It's better for our economy. It's better for our families, better for our schools, better for our neighborhoods. That's the America I want to be in. That's the America that we're all fighting for. But we can't do this without you. We need your help, whether it's financial, whether it's knocking on doors, phone banking, writing those postcards. I can't tell you how many times I go and talk to people and people talk about like, yeah, I got a handwritten note from somebody. Somebody cares so much that they wrote me a handwritten note. Imagine how many handwritten letters there are these days. Not very many. So people really pay attention when they receive those. So I just want to thank every single one of you. I tell people we can all get involved. We can all do something. And, earlier in the primary, somebody was telling me about their phone banking experiences when they were doing it on the weekend during loads of laundry, but how many people they connected with. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take us using our collective effort to make that difference. But by way of background, let me just give you a quick background for those of you that don't know me. My name is Rudy Salas. I was born and raised right here in the Central Valley. Growing up, I tell people my dad used to run a crew out in the fields. And that's what I did with my dad. We would wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go pick up the rest of the workers and go out. We used to make boxes for grapes and go to these exotic places that I thought were very crazy. There's like places like down in Mettler or up in Early Mart or Ducor, places up and down the entire Central Valley. But that's what I did on the weekends, spring break, summer break, winter break, all the breaks. But I am a product of our public schools. Was the only one from my high school to go to UCLA, double majored political science and history. Always had jobs while I was in college. As much as my parents wanted to help me, they just weren't in a position to. So kind of paid my way through, put in my work. First job after college was working at the White House in Washington, D.C. Worked for the Office of the Vice President, did financial work. Decided to take a job back home, worked at the local Cal State with the outreach programs, Upward Bound, Migrant Scholars, the camp program, getting other kids into college. Worked with our local state senator, Senator Dean Flores, ran his district office, helped in the Capitol, ran some of his committees up there, ran for city council, became the first Latino on the Bakersfield City Council in 112 years. So we made history there. Thank you. And we have we have an opportunity to make history again. There's never been a Latino Congress member from Sacramento all the way down to the Grapevine. So you think of that 300-mile swath, never been a single one. We can make history here because we know that we deserve it. We know that we can provide opportunities for others, but at the end of the day, it's about making a positive impact on you and your family. And whether you live in the Central Valley or whether you live in California or you live across this beautiful country of ours, we can help be that difference. And so that's a little bit about my story. I've been the last 10 years in the state legislature doing everything. I tell people, it's easy to stand on a soapbox. It's a lot harder to roll up your sleeves, get something done. But we've proven that we can get it done. We've brought in over $100 million to both of our colleges here. We've done, we saved the local hospital from closing. We've created the only Valley Fever Institute in California here. We put money towards the cancer center, towards welding programs, towards actually making a difference in people's lives. And so, when I went to the nursing graduation, I remember talking to the director and she says, Rudy, half of these students up here are here because of you. And it's going to be that way. We're going to double the graduating size of these nurses for the next 10 years. And it's because of your efforts. And so those are the types of things that motivate me to go out and actually make a true and real difference for people. And so I'm hoping to do that in Congress. With your help, we're going to get there. We know how important this seat is. This is one of those Biden plus 13 seats. We have to absolutely win this. This is one of the most Democratic seats held by a Republican in the country, but we can't do this alone. We need your help. We definitely need your help. So when you want to make a difference, this is the place to do it. And so I just want to thank each and every single one of you that are here, each and every single one of you that are on the Zoom. Know that what you're doing does make a difference. It does resonate. And we're going to make America stronger because we're going to do it together. Because where do Democrats win? We win on the ground. We win by organizing. We win by telling our story, telling our values, letting people know that we are a nation of people. We care about each other, and we know that we're stronger together, and we're going to do this together. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Rudy Salas. Thank you, Rudy, for being with us today. Rudy, I want to ask you just to say a little bit about the experience of having folks from the Bay Area come down to your district to walk with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Cecilia and her team and everybody that's been coming down every single weekend. Thank you so much for your dedication. We know that it's not just folks here, it's people from all over. And we've had a dedicated group from the Bay Area, some of them that actually moved here for a couple of months to make sure that we see this all the way through. But without that dedication, that heart to be the difference, I mean, that's what it comes down to. And that's what we're going to need from everybody is we need everybody to give their time, to give their resources, to give their whatever ability you have. We can do this. I tell people, no matter what it is that you do, we can actually help. I ran into some barbers before, and they're like, I just cut hair. I don't know what to do. I was like, great, we're going to use you when school starts. You could do haircuts for kids, and we'll do that. Like whatever talent you have, we're happy to utilize it. And the Bay Area, they've been fantastic about helping out on the phones. They've been fantastic about doing that caravan every single weekend and staying here throughout the week to make a difference, because they know that when they knock on those doors and they actually talk to voters, that's the difference. I know sometimes people get scared, like, well, I don't know what they're going to say. They might slam the door on me. But after you've done 3, 4, 5 houses, you realize that people are just so gracious that you actually took the time to knock on their door, that they matter. They mattered so much that you actually came to talk to them. And so that's the experience that we're seeing here in the Valley. And really it's a testament to each of our walkers, whether they're from the Bay Area or any other part of California. Thank you for doing that, because at the end of the day, that's what people are going to remember. They're going to remember that Cecilia or someone came to my door and actually talked to me and then answered my questions about the issues. And so really, truly appreciate all of that. And hopefully we got less than 180 days, guys, 178 days as of today, but those are all opportunities for us to make that difference and connect with people, connect with other Californians, and make this difference for the country. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Rudy Salas. As again, applause for Rudy. Zoom tends to cut out the applause, but I'm sure they're present in every location. As Christine Pelosi said in the chat, have no regrets, right? We can see from the images that Cecilia shared that Rudy Salas is out there with our canvassers from the Bay Area and the local area, talking to voters, laying it all out. And let's not wake up in November the next day with anything other than Biden reelected as president and Rudy Salas elected to the Congress with Hakeem Jeffries poised to become speaker. Thank you very much, Rudy Salas. We'll be down there. We'll see you in the district.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It takes all of us to win. And I couldn't stand with people I couldn't be more proud of. People that are dedicated to our mission, to our values, and to making a true difference for our country. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. Again, Rudy Salas, congratulations. And we'll be there to support you, sir. Very good. And I want to point out that, where is it? It's on this side. By our thermometer, we busted past the 21,000 goal. So Yeah, thank you. Congratulations to all of us for achieving that. And again, the $3,000 of the challenge match are not that we now matched are not included in that. So we're up over $24,000, which is $8,000 for each of these rural Democratic parties. We can do a little more. We've got a little time, and we're going to hear from some of the local leaders next as we begin to close out our program. I want to mention, Rudy mentioned postcards and how everybody's had that conversation at the door, right? Oh, I remember, or on the phone. I got a postcard from somebody. It was handwritten. They asked me personally for my vote. And that means a lot to everybody. But postcards cost money. You have to print postcards. And those of you who postcard a lot, you know that that tends to go on to the people who are doing the project. But our county parties like to raise money and support that as well. And so postcard printing for, like 1,000 postcards or something might cost a certain amount. Actually, more than 1,000 probably. The budget item I was told was $1,000 to print. I bet that's a bunch more than 1,000. But however many postcards we get, volunteer powers used to write them up. We got to put a stamp on them. So it's $53 for a book of 100 postcard stamps now. And our county parties, if they have the resources, can support postcarding throughout the area. We're going to have an inspirational performance now, and then we're going to hear from two of our local leaders. This performance highlights the importance of supporting our local Democratic parties because they elect school boards and local city councils that make decisions on a daily basis. So we're going to hear a performance by the current chair of the Delano Joint Unified Union High School District, Arnold Morrison. And we're fortunate that Arnold was a music teacher in his pre-board member career. And he made this video for us, which I think is very special.
Hello, I am Arnold Morrison, current president of the Delano Joint Union High School District Board of Trustees. As a veteran music teacher and a proud grandfather of two wonderful grandchildren, I am deeply invested in the success of our community's educational endeavors. It wasn't long ago that doubts lingered about our ability to elevate our standards. However, I'm thrilled to share that today our district stands as a beacon of academic excellence, far surpassing other local districts in Kern County. This achievement is a testament to the power of belief and inspiration in motivating our students to strive for greatness. All of you coming here today show a true testament of your commitment. Your dedication to turning the Central Valley Democratic blue is truly inspiring. Every effort you make, every door you knock on, and every conversation you have brings us closer to a more inclusive and equitable future. Your commitment to positive change is a beacon of hope, guiding us towards a better tomorrow. Together, let us continue to work tirelessly, united in our pursuit of progress and unity. Your voices matter, your actions matter, and together we will make a difference. Keep shining bright, for the future is ours to shape. We will inspire people to vote. We are the champions.
Thank you to everyone. You are donors, and attendees today are our champions. And thank you to Arnold Morrison. I appreciate that he identified himself as a veteran music teacher because, teaching kids to play music is more like combat than something that you'd retire from. So that was just a great performance. It reminds us of what among the things we work for is for our kids, and so that they can have opportunities to learn from great teachers like Arnold Morrison. And if you've ever tried to make a sound come out of anything like a clarinet with a reed in it, you know that was pretty good playing. We're going to hear next from a member of our team who actually arranged for Arnold Morrison to make that video for us. I believe she's coming to us live from Kern County. Many of us in throughout the Bay Area and throughout the region think of her as a sister activist because she's always everywhere and doing everything, and just receives everybody with great warmth and ability. Also a good postcarder. So as we donate to these parties, we're going to support those efforts. But we'll hear next from a Greenfield Unified School District board member and vice chair of the Kern County Democratic Party, Hortensia Cabral. Hortensia?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Hortensia Cabral. I'm honored to be standing here next to Rudy, and I am the vice chair of the Kern County Central Committee. I'm also a school board member for Greenfield. And I am the proud mother of two 14-year-old twin boys that are born and being raised in this community. I am a transplant from the LA area, and I moved here in 2005. And I love this community because of its resilience. We are a mosaic, but what truly sets us apart is that we're kind, we're hardworking, tenacious, and we're always ready to lend each other a hand. We are the beating heart of this community that help feed this nation. From the farm worker, working every day under the hot sun, to the boundaries that are pushed here locally through technology, we are a testament to the power of our community. As Democrats, we celebrate that heritage while enhancing or embracing the future that is coming up. Your commitment to positive change is a beacon for hope for everybody. Thank you to everyone for helping us be part of this community, for helping us move the Valley forward into a blue community, and helping us build a better future for tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hortensia. The magic of Zoom filters out all the applause. I can see they're applauding locally, and that's well deserved. Thank you for being a tireless and fearless leader and effective leader and partner for all of us there in the Central Valley. So there's still time to give to support the work that Hortensia was talking about. I know that we're a small group now, and there's many have given already. I note that Annalisa Swan has given more than once, and many others have said so as well. I'm not able to read the chat as carefully as I MC here. I do want to note on that note to thank the DNC members who are present and candidates. I see Annalisa Swan, Christine Pelosi, and Derek Devermont. And if there are any others, please just note that. I saw that our local DNC candidate, Jason Park, was on earlier and may not be on now. But it's important for our Democratic Party leaders at all levels, as Betty exhibited as our vice chair from the state, to support our county Democratic parties. I also don't want to forget to mention that our Democratic Volunteer Center are among the sponsor groups in the Bay Area who are sponsoring this event today. And we'll also be side by side with all of us making our calls into CD22. In fact, we're already doing that all together and sending volunteers down to the district and also to CD13. So we're doing great on the fundraising. You can keep pushing it up. I would love to see that. I'm going to turn it over to the new chair, recently elected chair of the Tulare County Democrats. Tulare County is a new partner for this effort. Redistricting happened, and there have been a tiny part of Tulare County in the district. Now there's a substantial and meaningful part. We can't win this district without getting all the Democrats we need. We know the margins in these districts tend to be small, and all three county parties need to be working together to make things happen. So without further ado, the recently elected chair of the Tulare County Democrats, Josh Evans. Josh.
Thank you, Bill, so much for the warm welcome and the wonderful afternoon of speaking and videos that we've had this afternoon. Now, last night when Bill told me that I had 6 minutes to talk, as a teacher, I know that that's gonna be a challenge for me because I could talk for 2 hours. So I wanted to first thank everybody for this wonderful event and for welcoming Tulare County into this event. To introduce myself, as Bill said, my name is Joshua Evans. I am a teacher here in Tulare County. I'm also a proud union member of our local Visalia Unified Teachers Association, where I'm a board of director. I'm a member of the California Teachers Association, and for the second year in a row, I've been elected to represent California as a National Educator Association Representative Assembly member. I'm also a member of the Assembly, I'm an Assembly delegate for Area 32 here in Tulare County. And as Bill said, I am the newly elected chair of the Tulare County Democratic Central Committee. As a lifelong resident of Tulare County, I've always felt that myself and my family were the sole Democrats in the county. We really aren't. In May of 2023, we got to meet some of our local county members, and we were able to go down to the convention in LA. During that time at the convention in LA, another Central Committee member came to me and said, we need to do something different here in Tulare County. And my thought was, we need to get the youth involved. And that person turned to me and said, you need to be the chair. That's why I became the chair, or I put myself in to be considered as the chair for Tulare County. Organizing in Tulare County is fairly difficult as a Democrat. We're expected to be a ruby red district, but we're not. We're nowhere close to a ruby red district. Democrats, the Democratic registration in Tulare County counts as 70,420. Republicans are at 81,040. That's a less than 11,000 voter difference here in Tulare County, with the non-party preference vote at 47,651. We can win this race in CD22. We can win races everywhere, but it's important to inform the voters of our issues. Issues like water, clean and safe water to drink, Wi-Fi that everybody has access to, healthcare. Rudy said earlier that he was able to save a hospital in Kern County. When we see hospitals in our area shutting down, we need affordable healthcare in our area. The financial support for the Tulare County, our counties in the Central Valley will help us achieve some of these goals. Our Tulare County Board of Supervisors voted this last any bipartisan infrastructure act money due to it being, quote, Democratic money. So some of the ways that we will spend this money is to help send out mailers, as Bill was saying earlier. Volunteer development, making sure our volunteers can go out and support candidates like Rudy Salas. Making sure our down ballot races have good candidates, city council, school board members, board of supervisors. As a CTA member, I was allowed and privileged enough to attend our local Republican dinner, the Lincoln Dinner, where the Republicans in 14 auction items raised $79,000 for Tulare County Republicans. This is what we're up against. But we have people, we have you. Your support in this area will help us make sure that candidates like Rudy Salas get elected. With your support, our Central Committee agenda will be a lot easier to achieve. We're hoping to increase our voter turnout in Tulare County. We want to engage our youth, which we have just started an ad hoc committee on our Central Committee for a youth engagement, which will be chaired by the youngest Central Committee member in the state of California. We want to engage our local clubs, both to help grow and sustain our local clubs here in Tulare County, just like our Visalia Democratic Club, Tulare Democratic Club, Porterville, and Tulare County Stonewalls. We want to increase their membership and increase membership in clubs like Three Rivers and Farmersville. We want to run candidates in all races. We want to run good candidates in all races so that we do not allow MAGA Republicans such as Kevin McCarthy, David Valadeo, Devin Mathis, and Vince Vaughn to go unchallenged ever again. I would also, at this point, I want to thank several people, both in this room and on the Zoom. First, I want to thank Cecilia from the Bay Area Coalition for coming down to Tulare County to really help us push and advocating for Rudy. I want to thank our local KDEM organizer, Dave Perlman, for all of his help and support in this election. I want to thank, excuse me, I want to thank our Central Committee board that most of them are here today. I would like to thank Jevin Price, our vice chair, without whom we would not be part of this event. I would like to thank Randy Evans, our treasurer, Kalisha Feliz, our secretary. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Suzanne Gundy, our member at large, she's on the Zoom. And I would like to thank my mother, Diane Evans, who is our hospitality coordinator and all around help for those of us who are involved in politics and losing our minds sometimes. So I also want to thank one more time, I want to thank you, Bill, for having us here. And I would like to thank Kathy Jorgensen and Kings County and the Rooks Agency for giving us this spot today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joshua. That's very inspiring. It's inspiring for a lot of us who've been in this work for a little bit to see a younger leader like you take the reins of a county party at a critical moment in Tulare County. And we hope to be partners with you for a long time to help you build that Democratic majority, which I think will serve the community and the values that you were expressing in your remarks.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm going to ask if the team can add Kathy Jorgensen and is Hortensia the senior Central Committee officer in Kern right now? So Kathy Jorgensen, Kathy's there. Yeah, she's on it. She dropped something. There she is, Kathy. And now we've got Kern already. If Christian's there, he can come up. It's going to be Hortensia, the vice chair. So we are leaders of your local Democratic Party. Are they both there? There we are. Christian Romo and Hortensia Cabral in Kern County. Kathy Jorgensen. Wait, Kathy, so you can tell who you are in your crowd there. There's Kathy Jorgensen and Joshua Evans. And I'm Bill James from Santa Clara County. And of course, we've got the DVC in Contra Costa County and other partners who've been supporting us. We're delighted to have had all of you with us. I can see from, here we are. Here's Jevan from our organizing team. And if Laura's in Kern, she could come up as well. I know that we've all been working together to make this happen. We're at almost $22,000. There's Flora. If your eye is twitching because it's not quite 22, you could give for 75 or whatever dollars and put us over the top. But I just want to point out that 22,000 with our $3,000 grant that we match puts us at $25,000, which is a lot of money for our Central Valley partners. So congratulations to everyone. I see that James Kim, who's the finance director in Santa Clara County and also a lead organizer of this event for many cycles now, has put the link in the chat. And the one thing I want to say from my experience of doing this event with all of the leaders who put it together and now having seen it all happen kind of in person and over Zoom, it's kind of an amazing thing. And I don't think enough people have seen it. And so if you agree, I think we recorded in the cloud. If we can get permissions, we might be able to make the video available. But I would just ask everybody in attendance, take the link out of chat and share it with people who might want to know about the work that we're doing together and might be in a position to support it. This Act Blue page will be up for a while longer. I know in Santa Clara County, we're going to push it out, possibly use the video as a way to get some additional donations, but every dollar matters. And it's not just about Rudy. It's a big part about Rudy, but it's also all the down ballot races, the kind of school board members and leaders that you've heard from today. So with that, I'm going to say we'll stay on for a minute. We won't shut down the Zoom in case anybody wants the link or wants to read my QR code. But we're going to have some of our refreshments here in Saratoga. Thank you to Tulare and Kings and Kern County for being our partners and friends in all of this work. And we're going to be here with you all through the year. I see we got to the 22,000, so we're over $25,000, and we'll keep people posted. We'll let you know if we hit new milestones in our post-event donations. So thank you very much for being here and joining us, and have a great weekend. And good luck doing your organizing. I know Kings and Tulare and Kern are hitting doors today. And so thank you for that work. We'll be right down there with you in the future weekends. Thank you.